Steve, to Senator Chandler and Representative O'Day, and all of your colleagues in the House and the Senate who stepped up and took what for some was a hard vote but the right one, to EPOCA and Neighbor to Neighbor and the other members of the coalition, to the members of the City Council, to regular old citizens. There are two values, at least, values that go beyond the substance of this important bill that got affirmed with this bill. And they are old values, revered values, and ones it is worth our reminding ourselves that we believe in and we care about. The first is that in this country, everyone deserves a second chance. We have a very intricate, very complete framework of criminal justice laws. You all know that. And a whole series of sentencing provisions for when you step across that line. And a justice system which, when it works and works well, answers or causes those who step across that line to answer for what they did. But 95+% of the people in prison come out one day. And if we want our society to be whole, if we want people to rebuild and repair their lives, then we have to make a way for people to come back into mainstream life. Fixing Cori, we don't make that possible. So I see this as a jobs bill. This is a jobs bill. It's not all we have to do to make a way for people who are looking for work. We still have work to do to rebuild this economy, to create opportunities in every corner of this Commonwealth. I'm proud of the fact that we're adding jobs faster than most of the rest of the country, that in July we had the largest single monthly job gain in over 20 years. I'm delighted. I'm delighted to present this young man over here who told me he's a teacher who's working today because of the work we are able to do to try to get teachers back in classrooms. But above all, I want you to know that I understand there is a 5-year-old behind every single one of those statistics, just like Steve. Some child who just wants an ice cream cone, or needs a roof over his or her head, who needs a way forward for herself or himself and that family, just like every one of us. This is a jobs bill, and it affirms an old principle that everyone deserves a second chance. And I want to build on a couple of points that are made here about another value of ours that's been affirmed. This idea came from the ground up. That's huge. Somebody talking across the kitchen table with somebody else, across the back fence. Somebody saying, this is a worthwhile idea. We ought to organize about it. We ought to talk to our neighbors and our friends and our families about it. We ought to engage with small business leaders. We ought to bring a force that was undeniable to the State House for action. And that is what we did. Something that Tim Murray and I said we would bring to Beacon Hill. And that is, you don't have to be a big shot anymore to drive an agenda on Beacon Hill. And I thank you for all of that. I want to thank the Rep and the Senator in particular, and their colleagues who saw the importance and the value and the power of what you are bringing. I want to thank all of those who advocated for this bill. And I want to thank everyone here who believes in the power of the grassroots. Believe me, I understand it. That's how I got the job I have right now. I want you to remember that power. We're in an election season right now. This is not a political pitch. It's more a civics lesson. A civics lesson. Remember that the pundits and the pollsters every time will try to tell all the rest of us what the outcome is or will be of this or that election, of this or that policy agenda that's trying to be moved. There are always people who set themselves up as deciding for the rest of us what will or will not happen, whether it's good for us or not. The grassroots is back to the fundamentals of democracy. It's about the power that comes when you form common cause with others, when you engage with people who may not necessarily agree with you, but when you're willing to come and make the case about what serves the greater good. And I want you to be about that every day, because when you are, the Commonwealth is better and stronger. I'm honored to be with you today.